Hi, I'm Jeff Marsacci, the Plain English Attorney, and you're at the #1 place to get simple answers to complex questions. We cover topics for attorneys, financial advisors, and the general public around estate and Medicaid planning, as well as some best practices for professionals. Our mission is to dispel myths, provide you some peace of mind, and hopefully have some fun along the way.
Hi, Jeff Marsacci here, attorney, certified Medicaid planner, author, and the Plain English Attorney. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how a revocable living trust fits in with a care assistance plan as part of the toolbox. Now, we're typically using this as part of the toolbox when we have couples. And so we put it into place just in case we end up needing it. Nothing that goes into that trust is going to end up being exempt from a Medicaid spend down. So why is it in there? Well, there's a couple of rules that we have to go through, and this makes sense depending on the situation. There are some states out there that are called 50-50 states and some that aren't. So let me just use some very round numbers, and they're not accurate, so don't even think of trying to quote these numbers. Let's just say in your state, Medicaid says that the spouse going into the facility can have up to $2,000 in liquid assets. The spouse outside the facility gets to keep $120,000. If you have exactly $122,000 in these non-50-50 states, great. $2,000 goes here, $120,000 goes there. Both spouses keep the maximum. Now, in 50-50 states, including North Carolina, they say, oh, you have $122,000. That's $61,000 here, $61,000 there. The spouse not going into the facility, you only get to keep $61,000. Spouse going into the facility, you have $59,000 more you have to spend. Okay. So what we do, if it's timed right, so this is where we need to make sure our clients stay in touch with us and keep us updated on health conditions. If we take the house and real estate and move it into the revocable trust, the Medicaid rules say, even if it would have been exempt for Medicaid purposes, if it's in a revocable trust, it counts the same as if it were cash. All right, so now that's much more money you need to spend down. Let's just say that the house is worth $300,000, and so you've got the $122,000 and the $300,000 house. Spouse goes into the facility, and then we have what we call the snapshot date. What were their assets comprised of on the first day of the first month in which a person entered a facility and is not likely to come out? Well, it's not $122,000 being split in half. It's $422,000 being split in half. So, 211 and 211. Oh, they get the spouse not going into the facility. That's $211,000. Well, they got to spend that down to $120,000. Spouse who's going into the facility, oh, they've got way too much. They have to spend $209,000 to get it down to $2,000. Well, how do we now do this spend down? We move the house out of that revocable trust and into the name of the spouse who's not going into the facility. And now suddenly the asset list says they get to keep $120,000, the house and one vehicle, and then there's $2,000 for the spouse going into the facility. With that maneuvering using the revocable trust, we've just saved the family $59,000. So that's what the revocable trust is there for. That's why we set it up. It's part of the toolbox for couples. Well, what if you don't have real estate? Look, we're still going to set it up because we don't know when care is going to be needed. We're not going to know what the assets are, and this may end up being something that we will need to use down the road, and it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So that's the revocable trust.
We hope you found that information useful and easy to understand. To keep getting this great information, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. To get even more information more quickly, follow the links below to some of our free, no obligation programs.